Welcome to Cold Brew Finance's end-of-week world currencies, stock markets and commodities deep dive for Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Kicking things off, I'm Victoria Cashmore. In currency markets, the US dollar closed at 0.8848 against the euro, up 0.0053, marking a second consecutive weekly rise. Against the British pound, the greenback hit a new one-year low at 0.7535. Against the Japanese yen, the dollar strengthened to 144.91. Weekly returns show mixed performance. The sterling pair declined 5.7% year-to-date, while the euro cross fell 8.4%. The yen pair showed nearly 8.9% weakness since January, reflecting broad dollar weakness across major currencies. Looking at long-term performance, the dollar-yen showed modest strength with a 10-year return of 1.9%. The pound-sterling pair gained 1.3% over the decade, while the euro cross recorded a slight decline of 0.09%. Among Asian currencies, the yuan weakened the dollar by 0.93%. The Singapore dollar showed significant movement, pushing the greenback down 1.2%. Against the Indian rupee, strong downward volatility continued for a third consecutive week. Year-to-date returns show broader weakness, with the Singapore dollar pair down 4.9%. The Canadian dollar cross declined 4%, while the New Zealand dollar pair fell nearly 6%. In the decade-long view, the rupee pair shows the strongest performance, up 2.9% annually. The Kiwi cross and the loonie pair both gained about 1.4% annually over the same period.
Looking at global stock market tracking ETFs, I'm Max Profit. Taiwan led the group, rising 9.9% to 50.95. Denmark and Malaysia showed strong gains of 6.2% and 6% respectively. Indonesia and Thailand each gained over 4%. Weekly returns show Taiwan with the highest average daily return at 1.9%. Denmark and Malaysia followed with daily averages of 1.2% and 1.1%. Year-to-date, Denmark leads with a 3.5% gain. Looking at long-term performance, Denmark shows the strongest 10-year annual return at 7.1%. Taiwan follows with a 4.4% annual rate. Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia all show negative 10-year returns. Among underperforming markets, Turkey dropped 3.1% to 30.94, hitting a new one-year low. Mexico declined 1.7%, while Chile fell 1%. Despite small declines, Spain and Poland both recorded new one-year highs. Weekly performance shows Turkey with the largest decline at minus 3.2%. Year-to-date, Poland leads this group with a 44.2% gain, while Turkey lags with a minus 13.7% return. Long-term analysis shows Poland with the strongest 3-year annual return at 24.1%. Spain follows at 18.6%. Despite recent weakness, Turkey maintains a positive 3-year annual return of 11.8%.
Considering commodities, I'm Liquidity. Gold futures and silver futures declined, dropping 1.5% and 2.2% respectively. Copper futures fell 3.4%. Meanwhile, aluminum futures marked its fourth consecutive weekly gain, showing a very strong negative trend. Year-to-date returns show gold leading the metals with a 23% gain, while copper follows with 16%. Silver has gained 10.3%. In contrast, aluminum has declined 7% since the start of the year. Looking at longer-term performance, gold shows impressive 10-year returns of 107% annual rate of return. Silver and copper follow with more modest gains, while aluminum has struggled with just 1.4% annual returns over the decade. In energy markets, both Brent and crude oil futures hit new one-year lows, falling over 7%. Natural gas surged 23.5%. Heating oil recorded a new one-year low amid downward volatility. Year-to-date performance shows energy markets under pressure. Brent and crude oil have both declined around 18%. Heating oil is down 13.8%. Natural gas remains relatively flat, while gasoline shows minimal gains. 10-year returns reflect challenging conditions in energy markets. Brent and crude oil show negative returns. Natural gas leads with a modest 2.7% annual rate of return, while other energy futures show minimal gains or losses over the decade. Live cattle and feeder cattle futures both reached new all-time highs, gaining 3.5% and 2.1% respectively. Lean hogs dropped 8.1%. Class 2I milk marked its fourth consecutive weekly gain. In grains, corn futures fell 2% after breaking down from sideways movement. Wheat declined 1.7%. Rough rice hit a new one-year low. Soybeans remained steady, while oats dropped 5.6%. Grain futures experienced broad declines. Oat futures led the downturn, falling 5.6% to 338.25. Rough rice futures recorded a new one-year low, dropping 2.4% to 12.96. Corn futures declined 2%, despite maintaining a very strong positive trend. Looking at long-term performance, grain futures show mixed results over 10 years. Oat futures leads with a 47.7% gain, while corn futures rose 29.1%. Wheat futures and soybean futures showed more modest gains of 8.1% and 9.7% respectively. Soft commodities showed weakness, with notable declines in coffee futures dropping 4.3% to 382.60, and sugar falling 5% to 17.27, hitting a new one-year low. Cocoa also declined 5% to 8,914. Year-to-date performance shows coffee futures leading with a 19.7% gain, while orange juice has declined significantly, down 48.4%. Cocoa has retreated 23.6%, with sugar showing a 10.3% decline. 10-year returns reveal substantial gains for soft commodities. Cocoa and coffee futures have more than doubled, up 209.8% and 185.1% respectively. Orange juice gained 120.3%, while sugar advanced 33.8%.
And with that, we conclude another end-of-week world currency, markets and commodities episode. I'm Victoria Cashmore, along with my AI co-hosts Max Profit and Liquidity. Thanks for watching. Look for daily wrap-ups every day just after 5 p.m. New York time. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Cold Brew. Finance is an experimental project with market reports written, narrated and delivered totally by AI, with market data kindly provided by financialmodelingprep.com. Always seek professional financial advice before making any investment decisions. Check into the channel daily for coverage of stocks, crypto, currency and commodities. Thanks for watching.